Hello all. Welcome back to the session. We will start the session within few minutes. Let's wait for others to join. A warm welcome to one and all. This is Pradeepti again, and today this session purely focuses on the IoT platform that is IoT platform, which is called as Watson IoT, which is a service provided by the IBM. So we'll talk about what Watson IoT platform is and how to fetch the sensor data on IoT platform and how to streamline those sensor data on IoT platform. That's what we're gonna learn in this session. So before going to what actually IoT platform is and what can we do with the IoT platform, first of all, you have to understand what actually Internet of Things is. So can someone tell me, do you have any idea of this Internet of Things? Do you have any idea on IoT? Have you ever heard the term IoT? Internet of Things? All right. So first, let me give a brief introduction of on what IoT is, and then we'll start the practicals on what's an IoT platform. All right. Uh, Internet of Things refers to the network of physical objects which are connected to internet using software, sensors, and other technologies. So this connected network allows the devices to talk to the cloud, sending data that is processed in the cloud and then returned to the user interface or the end user. Kevin Ashton was the person who coined the term Internet of Things in a presentation of Procter and Gamble in 1999. Yes, Ahmed, it's just like an application can be smart home. And the first IoT device was introduced in 1990 by John Roomke. He actually made a toaster that could be switched on and off over the internet. So he made and presented for the October 89 Introp conference. And actually the entire process, all the process of IoT starts with the devices themselves, such as it could be smartphones, it could be digital watches, it could be electronic appliances, which will securely communicate with an Internet of Things platform. So here Internet of Things platform that we gonna discuss is about IBM Iot Platform. So this IoT platform collects and combines the data from multiple devices, and also it can collect the data from other platforms. This applies some sort of analytics to share the most valuable data with the application to address in the industry specific needs. First, let's understand how the whole process in IoT works. Actually, it will have different kinds of layers like device layer, communication layer, data management layer, data analytics layer, and also user communication layer. So to make you understand about above layers, let's take a real life example. So let me consider there is a traveler whose name is Rajesh, and he travels a lot, and in between his road trips he notices some problem within the check engine light. However, he doesn't know the intensity of the problem. And the good part is that the sensor that triggers the check engine light monitors the pressure in the inner brake line, let's suppose it. So this sensor is one of the many sensors present in the car. These sensors constantly communicate with each other. So the sensor data is again sent to a component called diagnostic bus. So this diagnostic bus gathers the data from all the sensors, and then it passes through the gateway in the car. So wherever the sensor data is uh, fetched out, and all those things can come under device layer. Once the sensor data is fetched by the diagnostic bus, and that sensor data is sent to the gateway, right? There's your communication layer comes into the picture. So there are some sort of communication layers which will fetch the data of all the servers, and this gateway collects and sorts the data from different sensors. So before this connection to happen, the car's gateway as well as platform must register. So after the gateway collects all this information, that information will be passed on to an IoT platform. So before this connection happens, your gateway must get registered with the platform, and it should have a secure connection. So this IoT platform keeps on constantly gathering and stores the information, and also builds a record in a database. If you want to connect any sort of database on the cloud, the sensor data fetched from the cars can be stored in the cloud database. So after that, once this is done in the communication layer, after communication layer, whole the process, whatever the process that I have told, like gathering the information from different cars, everything will be taken care by data management layer on the IoT platform. So once all the data is fetched, the analysis of this data will also be happened in the cloud itself. So after some sort of analysis, let's suppose in the platform the manufacturer has added some sort of rules and logics, so that the platform can trigger an alert in his car if suppose the sensor senses any sort of failure in the brake fluid, or if suppose the brake fluid has dropped below the recommended level. So whenever such kind of anomalies happens, then the manufacturer sends an alert and sends him an appointment, or sends an appointment for the servicing of a car, or the car problem will be rectified. So in the whole process, you have seen all the layers, like the device layer where sensors are connected, communication layer where the data is being grabbed onto the gateway, and then comes your data management layer. So this data management layer will purely happens on the cloud. So whatever the data that is being fetched by the gateway, those data will be sent to the cloud, and in the cloud the data will be managed and some sort of analysis will be done. So once the analysis is done, if there are any some sort of anomalies, then an alert can be triggered. This alert triggering can be considered as the user communication layer. So this is how a whole IoT system will be whole IoT system has. These are the layers that whole IoT system has. So now what we're gonna do is we would like to see this platform part. So we have IBM platform, which is called Watson IoT. So this IoT platform is actually a fully managed cloud hosted services that makes it simple to drive value from some sort of different kinds of Internet of Things devices. So first you have to simply register a gateway or a device. and then those device will fetch the data onto the cloud using the protocol, which is MQTT protocol, that is a lightweight messaging protocol. And then you can set up and manage your devices using your online dashboard. So we have Node-RED, right? So with the help of Node-RED, we can visualize the sensor data on the Node-RED. All right, so let's see how this process happens. My screen is in is are you not is my screen not shared? Are you not able to see the screen? Is it visible now? All right, I just gave a theory of Internet of Things and the IoT cloud platform. Now let's see how we can work with this IoT platform. So let me show you a diagram of how this IoT layers will be associated with. So first, you'll have a device layer, where all your sensors are connected, or an electronic device with which is connected with different kinds of sensors and some sort of uh, microcontrollers and all. And then you get a communication layer which will be talking to a gateway. And then you will have another layer which is platform, IoT platform, which is cloud. So on the cloud, you will have the data management layer as well as the data management layer and analytics layer. Then you will have another layer which is nothing but considered as an application layer or the end user layer. End user layer. So first, the sensor data will be fetched from the device layer to the gateway layer through some sort of communication, be it Bluetooth, be it Zigbee, or any sort of RFID communication or anything. With the help of those communications, the sensor data will be fetched onto a gateway. This gateway is responsible for sending the data onto the cloud platform. So in the cloud platform, you can analyze the data, you can manage the data coming from different kinds of sensors, and at the end, these sensor data can be used by an end user. So this is how your architecture of IoT will be. So today we will be seeing the layers from device layer to the cloud management layer. As we don't have any physical device that can trigger sensor data, so we will be simulating some sort of data and we will directly send this simulated data onto the cloud. So we today we will not talk about gateway. So directly we will be sending the device layer data to the cloud. So let's see how this happens. All right, now to do first of all, to work on with simulated data on IBM IoT platform, first of all you have to create a service. I hope everyone is logged into your IBM accounts. Yes. Now please click on catalog. Search for Internet of Things. Click on Internet of Things platform. So now we are creating an IoT platform which comes under management as well as analytics layer. Make sure you give the proper region, and if you want to name your Internet of Things platform, just name with your own name, or else just make the default name as the name of your service, then click on create. So let me write the steps that we're gonna do today. So today we're gonna see weather monitoring dashboard. All right. So let me say we send sensor data like temperature, humidity, pressure, something to IoT platform. So this is a simulated data. View the simulated data on the registered device. Then you can integrate Node-RED to visualize sensor data on a dashboard. All right. So to complete these two steps, first of all, you have to create the IoT platform service. Once you've created it, we have to register a device and send the sensor data to the device that is created. These are all the steps that we're gonna do today. All right. Hope you understood what we're gonna do today, right? If not, just let me know. I'll again explain you what actually we're gonna do today. Did you understand the flow? So whatever the layers that I have told, those communication will be showcased in this demo. Can I move forward if you have understand what we're gonna do? All right. So once you create your IoT platform, please click on launch. Hope everyone is on this page. Please click on launch. Is everyone on this page? Yes. So you have to first sign in. Please click on sign in. Please give your credentials to sign in. So once you got logged in, please click on the email ID that is there towards top right. Select the Bluemix ID that is present. Now you have got launched onto IBM platform. So this is how your IBM platform looks like. So whenever you have a sensor, let it be wearable, let it be a digital watch, or let it be an electronic device that is there in your house or anything. Now, if suppose you want to fetch that sensor data onto the IBM cloud, first of all, you have to register your device. So you have to register your device. After registering your device, with the help of those device data, you will be sending the census data onto the cloud. So let me explain another example. First, suppose you have a fit band, all right, and this fit band is used to track your health status. So let's suppose it has temperature, pulse rate, and BP, etc. All those data is measured in that fit band. Now, if suppose this data to be monitored by your doctor or anyone, there should be a kind of medium between your doctor and your Fitband. That is what your cloud is here, let's suppose. So now what happens is whatever the data that is being triggering in your wearable is sent to the cloud. From that cloud, that sensor data can be triggered onto the doctor's application. So if suppose there are any anomalies in your sensor data, this cloud will trigger an alert to a doctor. So whenever an alert is sent to a doctor, immediately he can open his dashboard and check your census data, which is visualized on an app. So those visualizations could be the graphical representation or any other sort of representation. So this is a two-way communication. So from device to cloud and from cloud to the doctor's application, right? So like that, we're gonna build a weather monitoring system today. So as we don't have a physical device, we will be simulating the weather data. Now, did you understand? Ahmed, actually, first of all, you should have a microcontroller that is to be programmed. All right. So, for suppose if you take Arduino or Raspberry or any other microcontrollers, with the help of programming, you can connect to this registered device with help of programming. All right. So right now we don't have such kind of physical device. So we'll be simulating the data on the cloud platform itself. It's not through IP address. You'll have some sort of APIs and also the device credentials to which you have to get connected. All right, Ahmed. I hope you are. All right, now let me just add a device first. Click on, before adding a device, first of all, you have to tell whether that is a device or a gateway. So here in the picture, I have said that you'll have a gateway in between device layer and a cloud platform, right? So now we don't have any sort of gateway. Let me create my device as a normal device itself, but not a gateway. So first you have to create the device type. So please click on device type, click on add device type, make your device as a device type but not gateway, give a name. Let me give the name as Build-A-Thon. I'm just giving the device name as Build-A-Thon. And if you want to describe your device type, you can give you the description. Otherwise, just leave it. Now click on next. If you want to give any sort of metadata to your device like serial number, what is the model, what is the description, what is the hardware version, etc., you can give it. Otherwise, just skip the step and click on finish. Now you have created a device type. Now, after creating a device type, you have to register the device. Hope everyone has created the device type. So let me just draw a diagram that what we're gonna do. Visualization dashboard. All right, so this is the block diagram that we gonna, this is what we're gonna do today, so that you can have a brief idea about what we're gonna do today. All right, now first register your device. Select the device type as Build-A-Thon. Give an ID to your device ID. I'm giving it as 12345. So my device ID is 12345. Click on next. If you want to add any metadata, then you can give. Otherwise, just skip the step. Click on next. You can give your authentication token, or it will be generated by default. Click on next. Click on finish. So your device data is created. Please make sure you save this data, your organization ID, your device type, and your authentication token and all. So this is the data that you have to write in your program so that your device gets connected to the IBM Cloud. So just save your data. Once you close this, this information will be lost. So you cannot view this information once you close this app. And if you open this again, this information will not be showcased. So it's better you save this data for the future purpose. Hope everyone has completed registering the device. Have you completed till here? All right. Now, if you see here, if you see towards left, you can see the connection information. So this is the connection information. And if you see the recent events, this is where your data stream will be showcased. So whenever some sort of sensor data is being pushed onto the IBM cloud, that data will be showcased over here. And you can see what is the state of it, when it got received, what is the event name, what is the type of the event that you're sending, what is the value, do you have any property for that, everything will be showcased here. And if you click on device information, whichever the device information that you've given for the device while while registering your device, that information will be showcased here. And the metadata is also the same thing. So metadata is nothing but like which type of data is being pushed onto the cloud, whether it is an XML file or whether it is a JSON data or whether it is a string data. Such kind of metadata is showcased over here. And here you will see what are all the logs which logs for your data transmission. If suppose there are any errors while connection, those errors will be displayed here, and you can also see the connection logs. So at what time it got connected, what is the message that is being triggered onto the IBM, all those information will be showcased on connection logs. And device actions, if suppose if you want to trigger any action, like whenever there is any anomaly, or so if suppose you want to send an email or trigger any other message, then that could be done in device actions. All right, now let's stream the sensor data over here. So we have an IoT simulator. Please select IoT simulator. IBM IoT simulator. Type IBM IoT simulator. IoT sensor. So this is the IoT sensor where your weather data will be fetched onto the IBM cloud. So as soon as you select, I'm just putting the URL in the chat window. First, let us simulate the sensor data onto the cloud. All right. So first, you have to establish your connection to the device. So I told you, right, you will have all the credentials with which your device could be integrated. So you have to give all your sensor, all your device data, organization ID. My organization ID is like 3Q007. And then my device type is Build-A-Thon. My device ID is 12345. Device token is this. So with the help of this, you will get connected to your registered device, save changes. So once you've saved the changes, you have to see the device ID over here. If your device ID is not shown, that means the connection is not established. You might have given a wrong credentials. It could be wrong in your device ID, or it could be wrong in your device type, something. So check and give the proper information, and then you can see the data will get connected. Have you configured this IoT simulator, everyone? Have you yes. So once you have configured this, now come to your IBM Watson IoT platform. Go to the recent events. You can see the data is being fetched onto the IBM cloud. So temperature name is 12345. Temperature is 17. Humidity is 75. Object temperature is 24. So if you see, temperature is 17, humidity is 75, object temperature is 24, temperature is 17. Right? Now let me just change these data. Now you can see this data will be fetched onto the cloud. So now if you see the next data, you can see the data is being changed. So as soon as the sensor reading changes, those changes will be updated on the cloud as well. So consider this as an electronic device which is sending sensor information like humidity, temperature, object temperature, etc. Hope you understood. Consider this an electrical device. Now this part is being completed. Instead of an electronic device, I have simulated some sort of data. Hope everyone is done with this. Have you done till here? If you got stuck somewhere, please let me know. I'll help you out. All right, Neela. What about others? You have to save your credentials. Once you lost the credentials, then you will no more see your credentials. So first, while creating your device itself, your token will be there. You have to save that data. If suppose you have not saved that data, again create a device, then save that data. Yes, Min. The sensor is still trying to connect, then that means you have not given proper credentials for connection. Please do close that and reopen that IoT simulator. Then give the proper details, then it will get connected. So if it is not connected, the same reason, Hadil, you have not given the proper credentials. Give device ID, device type, everything. You have to save your device data. That's what Emir, you will find the device data once you register your device. So after registration of your device, the information will be showcased on that on the screen itself. That should be stored somewhere. So once you miss that, you cannot retrieve the data again. If you cannot find that, yes, that is the device token. I'm sorry. Authentication token is nothing but the device token. Oh, it's working? Fine. Authentication token is nothing but your device token. Okay, that's what your question is. I'm sorry. I thought you missed the credentials. So have you seen that sensor data is getting fetched onto the IBM? Now you can see. Yeah, you can also create a real device, Sohel. So for that, you need some sort of basic programming. You can do it with Python, or you can do it with Arduino. I mean the Arduino IDE. You can just connect the sensors to one of the microcontrollers, program it, and send that data onto the cloud. I'll just send that links as well. So here you can find the whole tutorial regarding it. Once this is done, yes, that means now the data is being fetched onto the cloud perfectly. Now you can also add some sort of boards or so. Click on boards, board name, weather data. Next, submit. So click on weather data that you've created. You can add a card, add new card. Let me showcase a gauge, and the data is coming from 1 2 3 4 5. Yes. I'll repeat it. Fine. So here you see something called boards, right? Please click on boards. Please click on boards. Click on create new board. Give the board name as weather data. Click on next. Click on submit. So your weather data board is created. So this is a visualization board on the IoT platform itself, not on Node, right? You can also visualize the data on IoT platform as well. Have you done till here, everyone? Yes. Now please click on weather data. Now you can add a new card. Click on add a new card. Give a gauge. Any of the visualization. If you want to give a donut chart, or if you want to give a bar chart or anything, you can select any of the visualizations. But here I'm just selecting the gauge. Let me select this is Build-A-Thon card preview, whether that is extra small or medium. Let me put it as small, and then card information. You can give the card information, enter the title of the card. Let it be temperature. If you want to select the color, you can select it. Please click on submit. Okay. Specify the data. Devices. Yeah, this is the device. Click on next. Connect new data set. So here the event. Here if you see the event that we are sending, if you see on the let me show you. Let me show my devices. Let me show my devices. So in the devices, in the recent events, if you see in the recent events, you can see the event is Iot Sensor. Have you seen this? This is the event. This is Iot Sensor. That's what you have to give in the boards. Boards. Select the new card. Next. Connect the sensor data. Give the name as Iot Sensor. Property is humidity or temperature. I'm sorry. Property is temperature. It is a new number, and the unit is like temperature will be from 0 to 100 max. Click on next. Click on next. Select the color. Click on submit. You can see the donut chart. Next. Submit it. You can see the donut chart over here. Likewise, you can add different cards. Now let me add a gauge. Select this as Build-A-Thon. The device ID is Build-A-Thon. Next. Connect the new data set. The event is Iot Sensor. The property is now humidity. Name is humidity. It is also a number. Now it could be 0%. Percentage. Now this is also 0 to 100. Next. Next. Visualization. I would like to put a different visualization. Now you can see humidity is being showcased. You can also drag this and put it over here. Now if you want to add another card, you can also add. Let me make it as a value. 1 2 3 4 5. Scroll down. Next. Connected device. Event is IoT sensor. Property is name. It is a text. Click on next. Next. Give another submit. Now you can see, right? So this is how you will be displaying the sensor visualizations on the dashboard. Hope you've understood this. Hope you've understood this and done with the boards. Done with this. So I've created a visualization dashboard on the IBM Iot platform itself. But instead of Iot platform, I would like to visualize this data on Node-RED. Then you have to create the application or a user interface or a dashboard on Node-RED. So let me just showcase all the steps. Step 1, fetch the data from IoT onto Node-RED with the help of IBM Iot node. Parse the IoT data. Showcase on the dashboard. So these are the 3 steps that we're gonna do. Now let's come to the dashboard of IBM, not IoT platform, dashboard of IBM. Open your Node-RED. So your Node-RED will be under Cloud Foundry apps. Click on Node-RED. Open your Node-RED. Have you opened your Node-RED? Hadil, please click on dashboard. Come to dashboard. Under Cloud Foundry apps, you will find your Node-RED service. Scroll down. Under Cloud Foundry apps, you will find Node-RED. Click on Node-RED and then you will get redirected to the launch page of Node-RED. Click on Visit App URL. Click on Go to your notebook. Hope you have opened your Node-RED. Have you opened your Node-RED? Now just click on this plus symbol so that you'll get a new flow. So first, our intention is to fetch the data from IoT onto Node-RED with the help of IBM Iot node. Now just search for IoT. You didn't find any sort of node, right? So please install the IoT node. Click on this drop down, select Manage Palette, click on Install, search for IBM Iot. So install the first IBM Iot app. Install it. I'm showing again. Please click on this drop down, select Manage Palette. You will get redirected to a page which looks like this. There, click on Install. select IBM IoT, install it. So as soon as you've installed, your IBM IoT nodes are installed. So this is the node that is used to fetch the data onto the node RID. This output node is nothing but send the data onto IBM through node RID. So as we are fetching the data from IoT to node RID, you have to use this node. Please drag the node and place it on the floor. Have you done this? Now click on this IBM IoT. You have to configure this IBM IoT. All right. Now let us take this as API key. So I want to have authentication with the help of API key. Here you should have API key as well as password of your API key. But we don't have API key and connection URL for IoT. Likewise, all the services has. We have to create our API key first. To do so, come to your IBM Watson platform. Come to your IBM Watson platform. My system got stuck. Please wait for a few seconds. Click on apps. From your IoT platform, click on apps. Click on generate API key. Next, select this as standard application and generate key. Please save your API key and authentication token. Have you done this? Have you created your keys? Click on close. Have you done this, everyone? Should I show you again? Have you created your API keys? Yes. So please save them because we're gonna use that API key as well as authentication token on Node-RED IBM IoT node. Now, come to this Node-RED. Configure this IBM IoT now. Please click on this add new IBM IoT node. Give the name as IBM IoT. Paste your API key and also your API token. And here you have to write something called, I'm just showcasing the URL, org id messaging dot internet of things dot ibm cloud.com. So instead of this org id, you have to place your organization id. Put your organization id dot messaging dot internet of things dot ibm cloud.com. Copy that, paste it over here. Again, I'm telling your organization id. Your organization id will be coming from your device credentials. Organization id dot messaging dot internet of things dot ibm cloud.com. Once that is done, please click on add. And now let's see. Device type is, what is our device type? It is Build-A-Thon. Device ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Event is Iot Sensor. And the data that is coming is in the form of JSON itself. All right, but Neela, I'll send you, but make sure you change your organization ID. This is my organization ID. You have to change your organization ID. Yes. Right? Done. Now click on done. Now just click on deploy. After clicking on deploy, you should see the status connected. If suppose the status is not connected, then that means whatever the credentials that you've given is wrong. Now just put a debug note. Connect this debug node, deploy it, search in the debug node. You can see my data is getting fetched. So name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, temperature is 14, humidity is 76, object temperature is 78. Have you seen the output? I mean, did you fetch the data from IoT platform to the Node-RED? So if it is disconnected, that means either you're not sending your simulated data onto the IBM, or the device credentials that you have given are wrong. So hell, just check with the simulated data as well as the credentials that you'll be specifying. I'm able to fetch the data. How many of you have completed this fetching of data onto IBM? What, Neela? The organization ID, haven't you saved your credentials of device? I've asked you to save, right? You'll find that in that saved file. If you forgot, no, it's not a problem, but you have to create another device. You'll no longer will be able to use that device because you've lost the credentials, right? Can I move forward, everyone? Have you fetched the data onto the IBM? IBM Node-RED, I'm sorry. All right. Now the next step is to showcase this data on a dashboard with some sort of visualizations. All right. So first, as this is a JSON data, I would like to parse it. So we have three different sensors data, right? So let me add three function nodes. Open the first node, give the name as temperature. Now parse this with message dot payload. Parse the data by just copying the path of your this is my temperature. Paste it. Oops, I couldn't. Copy the temperature. Copy the path of temperature and paste it over here. Message dot paste the temperature. In the same way, copy the path of humidity. The next function, name it as humidity. Message dot payload is equal to message dot paste the path. Instead of temperature, write it as humidity. The data is continuously. Yes. Once you've done this, now go to the third function. Name it as object temperature. Message dot payload is equal to message dot payload dot object temperature. Now just connect to these three functions and then add debug nodes. Deploy. Now if you scroll down, you can see the individual data of temperature, humidity, and object temperature are fetched. Now let's display these on the dashboard. To do so, please drag the gauge, double click on the gauge, select this drop down, select add new UI group, select on edit icon, just give it as sensor data. Now under tab, select add new UI tab, edit this, give it as weather dashboard. Click on add. Add. Now make this as gauge. Label is, let me write it as temperature, and the values are ranging from 0 to 100. I'm just checking the other color, which is red. Click on done. Just connect this Now add other two gauges. The second gauge, name it as humidity. Select the yellow one, click on done. The third one, please select this as object temperature. Select the green one, click on done. Click on deploy. Now see a dashboard. Open this dashboard. Select the weather dashboard. You can see the sensor data on the UI. Now let's change the IoT sensor data. Let me change this humidity to 72, object temperature to 35 or 36, and temperature to 23. Let's see that data has been fetched on the Node-RED. So temperature is 23, object humidity is 20, 72, and object temperature is 37. As your sensor data changes, this dashboard also changes. So now the entire cycle has been completed. So we have fetched the data from simulated data to cloud platform, and from cloud platform to Node-RED visualization is done. This is how you will be grabbing the data and showcasing it on the Node-RED dashboard. Have you done till here? If you've not followed, please do watch the YouTube video, which is streaming now. So you can just scroll back and see the whole process. Hope you understood. All right. Now, if you want to simulate your own data, then you have another simulator, which is internal simulator. If you come back to the IoT platform, please click on devices, select device, turn this select device simulator on. Let me just stop this simulator. I would like to showcase my own simulator. Now click on this simulation. Now select create simulation. Select this Build-A-Thon. Here, let me send the values as temperature random of 0 to 100. All right, Neela, let me just scroll it. Let me just go back now. So please come to the IoT platform, click on devices. Actually, this device simulator will be turned off. Please select this radio button so that your internal device simulator will be turned on. Open this. So as soon as you open it, you will find a button called create simulation. Please click on create simulation. Select the Build-A-Thon button. Now here, randomly generate the sensor data. Let me put it as temperature. Open your IoT platform. Towards left, Please select devices. Please select devices. Please select devices. Please select devices. Then you will find an option device simulator. Turn this device simulator on. Then at the bottom you see an option called zero simulations running. Now you have to create a simulation. So please click on the zero simulation. Create a simulation. Create a simulation. Select the device type, which is Build-A-Thon. Now configure your random sensor data. Temperature random of 0 to 100, comma, humidity random of 0 to 100, object temp 0 to 100. So if you scroll down or just minimize the screen, you will find a button called save. Now please click on save and then click on use registered device. Here select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can type the sensor name as Iot Sensor. So for every minute you would like to schedule 20, click on save. Zero. You should find the simulated devices. One simulation running. 0 events sent. Okay, if you're unable to save, please minimize your screen. Please zoom in your screen. Then you will find save button. All right, I'm sorry, I was on mute. So if you see 12 events have sent, So if you see here, the temperature, so I have not changed the name temperature, so please change it to humidity. So this temperature will be fetched onto the IBM cloud. Now if you want to see, just click on this, click on recent events. Then you must find temperature, humidity, and as both are with same name, only one name has been fetched. So please change the name and send. You can see the data is being fetched onto the IBM IoT. The same thing, you have to replace the values over here. You can see your dashboard on the Node-RED. So if you want to simulate your own sensor data, then this is the process. Hope you understood. So 15 simulations are running. Let me just delete this. So let me give this as humidity. Save. Now you can see open this. The data is not changed. Let me delete this first of all, then create a simulation. Select the Build-A-Thon. Temperature 0 to 100, comma. Humidity 0 to 100. Let me put this as Iot Sensor. Save. It's taking some time to simulate. Please wait for a few minutes. Yeah, so now you can see the data is being fetched. So if you see, so I'm sending two events. So temperature, humidity, and object temperature. All right. Now let's see whether that's getting fetched onto the Node-RED or not. So here the path will be changed. So that path should be changed. Message.payload.temperature. Based on the payload, you have to copy the path and paste it over there. Message.payload.humidity. The same way, message.payload.objectTemp. Done. Deploy it. Now that data can be showcased, which is 49, 61, and 37. Now if you see 15, 61, 49. 50, okay, it's continuously changing. So 53, 49, and 37. So 53, 39, and 47. So these data is being fetched onto the Node-RED. So if you want to use your own simulated data, this is how you use it. So with this, I would like to conclude my session. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, and then I'll hand over it to Hemant.
So thank you, Pradipti.
Thank you.
I guess we are done with it, right?
Yes, I'm done with it.
Yeah, thanks. So, guys, you don't have any queries, right? I can hand over the session to the next trainer.
1 second, Hemant.
Yeah, sure.
So instead of dot temperature, please change that to humidity as well as object temperature, Hadil. All right. Yes. Shall I stop my screen share, Hemant?
Yes, yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So, dear participants, we have other trainer from IBM, Miss Jude, who will be, taking a session on design thinking. Uh, hello, Miss Jude. Over to you.
Hi, how are you? How's everyone? Thank you so much for the introduction. I hope all of you guys are well. So I'm just gonna be like a quick break from all the heavy information that you just received, and thanks to the other trainers that are putting so much effort into this hackathon to help you build new skills and gain more knowledge. So I'm gonna be telling you about design thinking. So let me share my screen. Hopefully it will be a good topic for you to learn and digest. And if you have any questions, please stop me at any time, or you can send on the chat and I can go through the questions during or after I finish with the presentation. Great. So I'll just briefly introduce myself. My name is Jude Hassan, and I am a content developer in IBM. I'm working on a project called Digital Nation, IBM Digital Nation Platform. It's a digital literacy program where it's available in Africa and Middle East for specific clients. If you are in the Africa region, you can get access to it and go through the emerging technologies skills that we are offering, such as cloud AI, blockchain, IoT, and much more. My main focus is design thinking and agile, and I have trained more than 2,000 people about what design thinking is. And they are a mix of students, developers, and entrepreneurs. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Other than that, we can start. Let's share what we know about design thinking. Anyone have heard design thinking? You can write on the chat if you heard about design thinking. Uh, the first thing that comes to your mind when someone says design thinking, what do you think? Anyone would like to share their opinion or their thoughts or their knowledge? And never heard of it. Okay. Anyone else that would like to share with us? A 5-step thinking process. Close enough. Yeah, it actually has phases. We're going to discuss this. Okay. I'm going to make your life easier. I'm just going to start with the design thinking. So you can see this picture. It's an MRI machine. MRI machines are usually used to provide an analysis of how is your body organs are functioning. So if you have tried it, or God forbidden, if you need to do it, it's a very loud and tight machine. It has a very, very, very loud sounds that bothers you. So imagine kids need to go through this MRI test for any reason. It would be a bit scary for them and tough to convince them to go ahead and do the test. Like, we would be very scared and we would be very annoyed. Imagine the kids. Now, one of the hospitals decided to come up with a solution for that, to see how can they actually improve the patient's experience in the hospital, or make it less stressful, or make it less, they make the kids less anxious about doing the test. They ran a design thinking workshop to look for a solution that will make their end users, or in that case, the kids, more comfortable going through this test. So as you can see, this is the solution that they came up with. They painted the wall with colors, cartoons, animations that actually made the kids feel more comfortable going into the room and do the MRI test. So they focused on what the kids really need in order to overcome this fear. So design thinking on a very high level can work for technical and non-technical solutions or approaches. So design thinking is actually focuses on the human needs and wants. So it's a human-centered approach to innovation. Okay, and it's a methodology that some of the parties use to solve the challenges based on their customers' needs and wants. So it helps you to figure out what is the challenge that you're facing and focus on the people you are trying to come up with a solution with to see what they actually need or what they actually want. So instead of just coming up with a service or a product and try to sell it to people, you can see what people are really in need and create the product or service based on that. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll go ahead. Now, design thinking has three loops, three major actions, which is called the loop. The loop has three parts, which are observe, reflect, and make. Now, observing meaning that you do your research, you observe the market, you see what are the business challenges that are out there, so you can actually start working on reflecting on these business challenges. Reflecting on these challenges means you can come up with few ideas to overcome those challenges. So you can actually move to the make action, which you start implementing the solution that you came up with. Design thinking is not just you observe, reflect, and make. No, it depends on the situation you are in. It depends on the solution you want to come up with. So you always observe, reflect, and make as like a loop. So it's not ending. You can keep doing it whenever you feel it's the right time. Now, there are more than these steps that I have mentioned in this presentation, which you can go ahead and see the enterprise design thinking course that we are having and the IBM Digital Nation platform. And you can see all the steps vividly. However, in this presentation, I focused on only three major steps, which are, we're going to identify the business challenge. We're going to identify our personas or the audience and follow the design thinking techniques. And the third step is defining the scope of the MVP. Any questions so far? If you have any questions, guys, please write on the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions. Okay. So now let me take you through the first step, which is identifying the business challenge, which we related to the observation. This is the observation in the loop, okay? So the business challenge we have today is a startup company that just started to operate and still not stable because of what happened with the world, which was coronavirus, and it was a global pandemic. So they need an idea that will actually stand out in the market. Plus, it would serve the audience and help them overcome some of the challenges they are facing. What's key for them to success is to focus on how they can make their targeted audience happy and satisfied. So one of the major things that happened to startups that they went through a global pandemic where everyone is in lockdown. They need to come up with solutions to people that are struggling from boredom, from eating a lot, emotionally eating, looking for jobs, and so many other challenges. Now, this is the first step, which is the business challenge. We want to see how can a startup company stand out in the market, focusing on their audience and see what they actually need. Okay. The second step in the design thinking process or methodology is identifying your personas. Now, you could target a lot of audience. You could target a lot of personas. However, I just focused on one persona for today, just to give you an example. Obviously, you can add more personas to your cases. And I'm gonna give you a use case for the persona I have picked and take you through the design thinking techniques. Okay? Now, as we observed the market and we stated the business challenge, we're gonna move to step 2, which is reflecting on what we have observed, which are figuring out who our audience are and following the design thinking process. Now, the first thing that we need to do is knowing who is our persona. Who are we targeting? One of the personas is Yasser for this case. Now, I just want to tell you in persona, we just state facts about this persona. So we just show a person what does he do, what's his name, what's his age, what does he do, what are his hobbies or her hobbies, and so on. So we focus on the person facts. So we try to put ourselves in their shoes or try to understand them on a deeper level. So in this case, we have Yasser. He's 20 years old. He's based in Dubai. He likes to go out. He likes to socialize. He's staying at home because of the global pandemic. They had another lockdown. He likes to work out. He wants to find an internship and look for a job and so on. So one of the pain points that he has is pandemic life is making him depressed and not active. Now, as I mentioned, it's just one persona. You can have a lot of personas. And how do you get to know your persona? If you are doing a project, you can ask people questions. You can do surveys. You can do interviews. So you would be able to know more about a person. Like, it's not enough to just put yourself in the persona's shoes, but you need to know what's their insight about everything. Okay, great. So now we move to the second phase in the design thinking technique, which is the empathy map. Empathy map, we dive deeper into knowing the persona. So not just facts as the persona, like a name, age, job, title, position, hobbies, whatever. No, it's gonna be more of his personality. What does he think about things? What does he say about things? What does he feel? What does he do about things? You know, so in that situation where he is in the house 24 hours, he's in lockdown, what is he thinking about? What is he saying about things? How is he feeling and what is he doing about it? So in this case, he's saying if it's gonna end soon, he wants to fix his sleeping schedule. He's saying that he wants to find a job. He's thinking that he needs to lose weight, and he gained a lot of weight because of the lockdown. He's thinking that when this will end, he's trying to look for online classes. He's trying to improve his skill set. He's having Zoom calls with his friends, but he's still feeling sad and lonely and anxious about not being proactive. Now, after we started knowing slowly what's Yasser all about and how is he thinking and how is he feeling, we go to the as a scenario. As a scenario is basically we pick a day where we can help Yasser in, which is a day of his current routine, and see what issues he's actually facing and how is he dealing with them in order to find what his exact pain points. So as you can see here, we have steps of Yasser's day, a regular day. We have what is he doing in each step that we have here. We have how is he thinking about each thing he's doing in his day, and how is he feeling. So from the feeling in the as a scenario phase, we will be able to figure out if Yasser is actually happy or feeling bad about it. So we try to uh, uh, point our fingers on what are the pain points of Yasser. So he wakes up. Uh, he wakes up. He what is he doing about it? He stays in bed for like an hour. He checks his social media platform. He washes his face. He feels excited. He wants to be proactive. He's thinking that okay, I need to plan my day. He's feeling fresh and motivated. That's the beginning of the day. Now, moving to the next step, which is opening his laptop, he starts procrastinating. He starts playing with his phone. He's thinking that he's bored and he wants a change. He's not feeling so well. He feels bad and bored and depressed. Now, the third step is ordering food. Again, what is he doing about it? He's snacking on munches, chocolate chips, and so on. He orders fast food. He's thinking that he needs to cut all these unhealthy food. He needs to eat healthy. He needs to start dieting. He's feeling anxious and unhealthy. The last step is he goes back to sleep. He watches some series. He's thinking that he shouldn't have done that. He was not proactive. However, he's gonna be proactive the next day. He's not feeling so good. Now, from the as a scenario, we will be able to see what is he actually, what does he need, what's happening with him. What do you think, guys, is happening? Is he bored? Is he demotivated? What do you think? Anyone would like to share their input? No, guys? It's very easy. He's bored. He's demotivated, right? He needs something that will entertain him. He's just at house the entire, I guess I'm Yasser. Yeah, actually, yeah, like you can actually, if you put yourself in his shoes, what would you need in that case? Like he's eating a lot. He wants to exercise. He's demotivated. So his need is he wants to be entertained. Yes, exactly. And someone to motivate me. And he needs someone to motivate him. He needs some motivation. He needs some entertainment. Yeah, maybe some virtual yoga sessions. Like, amazing. So moving to the third step after we figure out what Yasser needs, we move to the third part, which is the ideation. Now, before we come up with the MVP, we need to do some ideation. Ideation is basically after you create a persona, empathy map, you get to know your persona on a good level, you do the as a scenario map, you will be able to understand what do they actually need. So you pick this from how they feel about things. So when you do the ideation phase, what's the MVP? I'm gonna answer you in a bit. 1 second. Let me focus on the ideas first. Okay, so once you get to know what's his need, you start coming up with ideas with your team members to see how you can actually help Yasser overcome his challenges or about his needs. Like, how can we do something about his needs? Okay, so his need is, as we stated and we figured it out, he needs a way to finish his assignments, be entertained, and be proactive. In other words, he wants to be motivated, right? So in the ideation, when you start doing it, you focus on two things. The first thing is diverge, and the second thing is converge. What does each one of them mean? Diverge, when you're doing the design thinking workshop or a session with a team, each one of you, after identifying the need of your persona, you start coming up with ideas. You start writing down these ideas on sticky notes or virtual whiteboards or whatever like is suitable for you. You start writing down all your idea alone without discussing it with anyone. Okay, and like you have to come up with amazing ideas, wild ideas, crazy ideas. It doesn't matter. Just to see how you can actually help your persona. Okay, so we do the diverge, the first thing, which means a group of people and each one of them comes up with an idea individually to solve Yasser's pain points. And after each one of you guys are done with coming up with ideas, you move to the converge, which is everyone shares their ideas, and discuss what their actually ideas are all about. So we discuss what's our ideas. We try to negotiate, we try to argue, we try not to argue, like I mean we start to having conversations and see what can we actually exactly. It's like a brainstorming session. We just put all our ideas together and we start talking about them out loud with everyone, so we can come up with it. It might lead us to like a final solution. How can we negotiate and how can we discuss the ideas with the team and that it will lead us to an actual solution? We use the prioritization grid. Now we put a grid that we will be moving all the ideas that we came up with to that grid. And based on the feasibility and the importance of the idea, we place it. So the most feasible idea for the business to implement and the most important idea for the customer or end user is what would actually be the solution. So the idea that we need to come up with as a solution, it needs to be the most feasible idea and the most important idea. So for example, here in some of the ideas, the most feasible and the most important idea was workout fun sessions with friends. Okay, so this will keep Yasser motivated, having fun, socializing with his friends, taking care of his health, and so on. Any questions so far? Great. So after we decide on what is more feasible and what is more important compared to the other ideas, we start with the MVP. MVP is the minimal viable product, okay? But before we start with the minimal viable product, we take the idea that we came up with and we put it in a to-be scenario. So just like what we had in the as a scenario where we see Yasser's day, how is it going through the steps, like when he wakes up, when he opens his laptop, when he's ordering food, and when he goes back to sleep. We implement or we put the idea in that chart and we imagine Yasser is going through his day with this idea. How is he gonna have a better day? What is the wow factor about his day? So to be scenario is basically gonna describe the future when they adopt the idea that will make our user feeling satisfied and happy. Okay, so after we're done with the to be scenario and we see that okay, the idea is actually gonna be helpful to our persona, we start with the MVP. The MVP is the minimum viable product, and which is the same of like it reduces the risk while increasing return on investment by building only what is necessary. What is necessary is it means that the smallest thing that can be built that is meaningful to our user and that tests the assumption made by the business. What does that mean? That mean like when we came up with this idea, the app thing for fun workout sessions with his friends, we tried to come up with this idea. this is the minimum viable product. We try to implement it. We try to do the prototype for it. And when we give it to sponsor users, which are real users, and they give actually their feedback on the prototype of the solution, and based on their feedback, the product or the solution will be updated. So when we come up with this solution, which is the MVP, we show it to our sponsor users, which are the testers, the real users, and see what do they feel about the product. How are they feeling? Is it actually necessarily? Is it actually helping them? If yes, then we can go ahead and try to improve on the minimal viable product. We try to add more features, add more collaborations with other platforms and so on. So like imagine Facebook when it just started. Obviously, it did not have any of these features that we are having right now. It was just a basic what's on your mind, post, comments, likes, and that's it. Now we like throughout the years after like a lot of feedback from real users, a lot of dislikes and likes for Facebook, they started improving on it. They started adding more options like share, save post, dislike, love, all these new reactions, right? So just to wrap this up, design thinking is actually a human-centered approach that put all the focus on needs and wants of the customers. So it's not just about coming up with a product and service that is not useful. You need to know what is the challenge first. You need to know who are you targeting, why are you targeting them, and what do they actually need, so you can actually come up with a solution for them, right? Also, it can help you in organizing your ideas and your thoughts. And whenever you come up with ideas and brainstorming sessions, you always keep the ideas, because the most idea that got the importance and feasibility, all the other ideas you can implement after on the long run, on how to improve like your product with adding more features, more ideas, and so on. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask me. You can unmute yourself to talk, or you can send me on the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And if later on you want to reach out to me to ask about design thinking, please do not hesitate. This is my email. I can see a question. So there are no solutions without people intervention. Just if we, that Yasser have no, he will still demotivated. I think we should find solutions to the persona, actions or thoughts done by the persona, not by others. Actually, yes, of course. Like I just gave an example that, okay, Yasser can, he wants to have like his friends on social network and so on, because he's a social person. But you cannot, like, obviously you can have solutions without people intervention. Like you don't need people, just based on what ideas you come up with, based on what areas you want to focus on. How can you make Yasser entertained or motivated? Or maybe you can, like, if you do the same exercise, you might come up with different waypoints for Yasser. So it's all about how you are open to the case. How are you trying to help Yasser in any way? So if that answers your question, that would be great. Some websites to learn more design thinking. Sure, I'll share with you a few. Just send me an email to my email address, or I can share it on the chat in a bit. Okay, I'll stop sharing, but guys, if you have any questions.
Sorry to interrupt, Ms. Jyot.
Yes,
Could you? It would be helpful if you share our design thinking course, which we offer for the students.
on the Digital Nation Africa.
Yes.
1 sec. Okay. Let me share with you the link on the chat. 1 sec. Do you guys see my screen? No?
No, it's not shared, I guess.
Oh, okay. One second. Okay. I'll share it on the chat. Do you want me to take you through the site?
If you share the link, that will be great.
Yeah, I shared the link on the
Yeah,
chat.
then that's fine. I request all the students to go through that link. IBM gives you a free course to learn this design thinking.
Yes. You are more than welcome. What are the differences between Scrum and design thinking? MVP stands for minimum viable product. So it's the minimum thing that you can actually develop with for a product. It's a very, very basic product that it has not a lot of features. It does not have a lot of features. It has one specific thing that will help your persona for now, what is necessarily for him, and then that's what you call MVP, and then you can improve on the MVP and add more features and add more stuff to the solution. What's the difference between Scrum and design thinking? Design thinking actually helps you figuring out what is the challenge, and then takes you through the audience that you are targeting, and it will open like sessions for you to brainstorm, coming up with ideas and picking up the solution, doing the prototype. However, when you come up with a solution and you want to start developing the solution, you move to Scrum, which is a tool that will help you. It's a framework that will help you build the product in a fast and better way than any traditional software development. So Scrum is like a framework that you can use to order to develop the solution that you already came up with from the design thinking workshops. Is there any difference between enterprise design thinking and design thinking? Enterprise design thinking, do you mean like what's the difference between the courses that we have? They are both for beginners. Design thinking, the course that we have, design thinking, it's just an achievement badge. However, if you take the enterprise design thinking that we are having in the course, you will be able to have the badge for design thinking practitioner. Clear? Great. Haven't we a detailed orientation session on project Build-A-Thon organized on last day of the training program? I have just read this is in the platform. Actually, we need more info. Sorry, I did not get this.
That will be that. I'll be taking it, Mr.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. As I mentioned, if you needed anything else, you can email me and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for organizing this.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. for your time.
No worries. Take care. Have a nice evening, everyone.
So, answer to that question who asked regarding our SmartInternz platform, I'll be recording a video and sharing it with you tomorrow. I'll record a detailed video how to register for your project. How to work on our platform, all the things. I'll be sharing it to Ghazi, and Ghazi will be circulating it to you all people. Yep. So thank you one and all. I hope you have gained some info regarding the technologies, gained some knowledge on how to use this IBM services. Thank you all for giving us this opportunity and joining us for this bootcamps. I'll be sharing you the video or detailed demonstration of our platform. There you will be knowing about our platform and how to work and how to submit the work of yours. Thank you all. Have a great day ahead.